The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. The
Tip
lips,
of
the
the
teeth,
tongue.
the tip of the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal.
Mortal Kombat.
Flawless
Mortal
victory.
Kombat. Mortal
Flawless
Kombat. Get over
victory.
here.
Get
over
over
here.
here.
Get over here. Get over here.
Get over here.
Get over here. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Cinema Punx podcast. My name is Max, and I'm joined by my co-host and beautiful wife, Kate. We're going to break down our favorite movies, anime, cartoons, comics, and we're just going to get weird and nerdy. On today's episode, we're going to deep dive into one of our favorite franchises that was birthed off of the world-famous video game Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes, man. Yeah, this is a staple for any like 90s kids like us, people who grew up in the 90s. It is a staple movie series and the franchise that was birthed from it. We have some great ones. We've got some comically great ones. And we got our newest one. So, we're going to dive right into it. So let's go, man. We're going to start off with the first Mortal Kombat. Came out in July 13th, 1995. It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. It starred Robin Shue,
Yes.
Christopher Lambert,
Yes.
Bridget Wilson,
Yes.
Lyndon Ashby,
Badass.
Talisa Soto, and Trevor Conrad. What a cast. What a cast.
What a cast.
And dude, this was a revolutionary thing at the time, man. Like, how old were you when you saw this? Like, where were you when you first saw this movie?
Hold on. Doing quick math. I was 7.
Okay.
I was 7 years old. And so I was a huge fan of the video game, but I wasn't allowed to own it at the time.
Your
Fun
parents
fact,
were too bloody.
wasn't allowed to own it. So my stepbrother would bring it over, and we would play while listening to Nine Inch Nails.
See, that's what I was going to say. It's the advantage of having an older brother. My brother had it, so I was able to just play it all the time.
It was great. We would turn. It was like a whole event. We would turn the lights off, turn on like fucking like Head Like a Hole. We'd play some Mortal Kombat. So when the movie came out, of course, I was seeing my dad on the weekends, so we would, convince him to see any movies that my mom wouldn't let us see.
Nice.
Sorry, Mom.
Hey.
And so me and my sister really wanted to see the Mortal Kombat movie. So he took us, I want to say it was opening weekend, if not very close to it, like the weekend after.
Wow.
But we went to see it. And this was back when they still had like film reel, and it wasn't just
man.
production.
Old school
And
theaters, son.
the first scene comes up, and you see Shang Tsung with Liu Kang's brother, and he's like, Liu! And then the tape burned up.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So we didn't get to see it.
Talk about blue balls.
It was horrible.
Oh my god.
We were
Dude.
devastated. We were so upset. So thankfully we got vouchers to come back and see it. I think it was a Friday night. We either went and saw it again, like Saturday night or Sunday night.
Oh, thank God for that.
So we
It's
did
an
get
awesome
to
dad
see
for
it.
bringing you though. But he was probably like, "What the hell?"
He wanted to see it too.
He's probably like, "What the hell?"
He
man?"
wanted to see it too, because he was the one, with like he was the cinema person. Like my mom, she likes like oldies movies. Like
she's more of a music person.
Yeah, she liked musicals and all that. My dad was the one that was into horror and action and like the cool stuff. So like he was just as cut up about it. Like he was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, like what?
So we did finally get to see it, and it was one of the greatest moments of my young life, seeing
That's
that movie for the
amazing.
first time.
Hell yeah.
What about you?
So yeah, I'm a little younger, so I didn't see it when it came out in theaters because my parents probably wouldn't have brought me to the theater. But when we had it on VHS, and my parents were like, so my dad would always go and get like the bootlegs because we were in dirty Jersey, and back in the
Dirty
day,
Joys.
you used to be able to go to like Camden and you could get any movie that was out in theaters on VHS.
Just from a guy on the corner.
Yeah, just from like a guy on the corner, and it might have like the little timestamps in it that says like "Do not duplicate for studio use only
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think that's how I saw this movie was on one of those
great.
tapes.
That's so great.
But it was like a constant staple in our house. Like, cause we all, my dad loved the video game. My brother loved the video game. I loved the video game. I remember playing it with my cousins, dude. Like we demolished Mortal Kombat trilogy.
Dude,
just loved it, dude. It was amazing. And we were like a pretty big gaming household, at least back in the day, like when gaming, like we went to arcades together. We got the first Nintendos, we got the first PlayStation. We were a big PlayStation household. So like we were really, really into like PS1 and PS2. So we had all the releases of it on there that we would play and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. But you brought something up when you were talking about how you and your brother would play with the music.
Oh, yeesh.
Yeah, dude. And like, dude, Mortal Kombat and music just go hand in hand, dude. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because like not only did this movie like become like the best ever video game adaptation film, but it also birthed some of the awesomest music of the 90s.
Oh,
dude.
my God.
Some of the dopest music of the 90s was birthed from this, man. And it is so cool. And it still stands the test of time.
Yes.
And it is the reason why I started playing electronic music and why we started playing electronic music. I mean, as you guys can see, we are musicians. We are in our studio right now. We have another podcast and a channel dedicated to that. If you ever want to check it out, it is twitchtv.outworldsounds. Come and check us out. That's all I'll say. But this was very impactful on that, dude. Just hearing that. That
song. Oh my God. Do you remember where you were when you first heard that song?
Dude, it was played on the radio. It was played in clubs. It was played at my school dance.
Yo,
it was played at my school dance. Dude.
That's cool.
Like, yeah, they would play
so
Usher,
cool.
and then somebody would be like, "Yo, Techno Syndrome."
Yeah, I remember listening to. There was a local radio station here in Philly back in the day called Q102, and they would play
Q102 rocks.
Now it's more of like a pop station, but back then it was
like everything
very
else,
club heavy. Very it wasn't EDM back then, but electronic music and synth music, and they played that song like 24/7, constant loop, and I wasn't even mad about it. Like me and my sister, I literally think that is the song that got my sister into piano playing, and you know how amazing of a piano player she is.
She's fantastic. Wow,
she got a Casio
awesome.
For Christmas, and we learned the Mortal Kombat
the old
song.
Casio for Christmas, dog.
So good.
How can you not move? How can you not want to move when you hear that?
Dude, it's what changed. I feel like it's what changed action movie combat sequence.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Dude, all the 90s movies had nothing but electronic music in it from then on.
Because they tried to copy that. They tried to
replicate
catch
that magic.
That lightning in a bottle that song was and the energy that it gave every
100%. Dude, and yes, when we get into our Matrix episode, we are definitely going to talk about the soundtrack of that and how they did the exact same thing. And I definitely believe that this was a part of that. Fun fact about the soundtrack, the studio did not believe that a 100% electronic music soundtrack would sell, and they were not behind it. And so the director and everybody else fought for it, and they were like, "No, this is what we want. This is what it's going to be, and this is how it's going to work." Oh, and I think Ed Boon and all the guys that were in charge of it fought for it.
I would imagine
no,
Ed
this
Boon
is what's going to happen.
Been a part
Dude,
of that.
The album went multi-platinum, and it got a sequel to the album before they even got a sequel to the movie because it was that good. And then the game actually had its own electronic music soundtrack that was like insane. It was the Lords of Acid. They did like a different. They go under like a different name. And stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody has like a theme song and stuff.
Yes.
Dude, it is so good.
Oh,
it is
you
so
guys
fantastic.
Have to
that
check
music
that
stands
out.
the test of time, dude. Anytime I need inspiration for my music, for my set, I'll go back and listen to that. Like, oh man, hell yeah. Just break it
each
down.
character got their own little theme. It was cool. Yeah,
it was sick, man.
It was a cool. We'll have to find that. That's on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll have to throw the links.
It might be on Spotify. I don't know how you look it up on Spotify. And yeah, they were called the Immortals. That's what they
it
went
was.
by.
The Immortals.
The Immortals. All right, so yeah, let's get into the movie, man. That kind of gets us into how it starts off, because it starts off with that badass theme song. You're right in there with that badass theme song, the fire, and then you get Lou waking up like, oh, Lou, sweaty man, oh God, whoa. I actually love that scene so much. I absolutely love the cinematography in that. The green hue that's cast over him, like the way that the camera moves, the panning of it was just beautiful. And I always thought it was funny, the letter that he gets.
Oh my God.
Brother dead. Come back now.
Grandfather.
Grandfather. Like, what? Like,
it's so great.
But it was
so great.
It was sent on a Western Union. Dude, kids ain't gonna know what the heck that was. They ain't gonna know what a telegram. Telegram? What's that? You mean a text or an email? The dude didn't even have a beeper. Dude didn't even have a beeper at the time.
No,
you had to send him a
Western
telegram.
Union. But imagine getting a text like that, like, Lou, brother dead, come home. Grandfather.
Be like, oh.
Like,
all right.
Okay.
I guess I gotta go home.
Well, I don't
now.
know if Western Union back in the day, you like paid per word, so he was just trying to like keep it like short and sweet.
Or it was like the people that had to like do the what's it called? Morse code. Like stop, stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that. So they had to like they could only.
And
type
the person
so
like writing Western Union's like, you sure you don't want any more in this? Like how much is that gonna cost? No. That's it. Good.
That's it. That's all he needs to know.
Lou's brother, or the character, the actor that plays Lou's brother, was in Ninja Turtles. He was one of the original Turtles.
Oh yeah,
in the suit, and he was in the second Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, what's that kid's name? I can't remember his name.
Oh my gosh, I know it's
but
terrible.
I love his character
he's
that
in
one,
Ninja
dude.
Turtles.
Yeah, and he was.
Kills
you're right, dude. And he's a badass fighter himself.
He really is.
Which is
it's
actually
kind of a
pretty.
shame you didn't get to see more of that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, damn, man, Lou.
I know.
Lou.
Your brother's soul is mine. You will be next.
Shang Tsung was like scary. You
Yeah,
know?
like
Shang Tsung was intimidating. I love that
Scared the crap
jacket,
out of me.
that like leather jacket, like
and
that he had. And I love that like
soul
it's mine.
like you're like, oh,
It's mine.
this dude ain't playing,
Dude, and like, yeah, I loved how they looked like their characters from the game, but realistic. It was like, all right, cool, this is believable. I got this. I'm down with this. So from there, we get into the next badass scene is where we see Sonya Blade and Jax hunting after Kano. And
going
Shang
to the
Tsung
club.
going to the club. Oh
In the
man. Oh man.
It wasn't a 90s action movie if there wasn't a scene in
a club. Yeah.
Just
that's
think
true.
about every good 90s action movie, even if it's not that good, there is a club scene.
That is true,
Every
man.
single one.
That is true. And that's we set up the plot of Sonya hunting Kano because he killed her partner.
Yes.
We know that Jax is her new partner, but she's very headstrong and she's going after Kano no matter what.
And she's just in that club,
dude.
like, with
she's
a
just
shotgun,
going for
like,
the.
just
Yeah, she don't
not
care.
caring.
She'll take anybody out, man.
She does
and
not care.
We got Faith No More, I believe, playing in the background there.
Yeah.
We got some good metal bands
the
in
movie
this soundtrack
was
as well.
great too.
Yeah. So then we get Shang Tsung telling Kano, just bring her to the boat. Don't kill her.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
why I gave him Arnold's voice, but that's what he's going
That
with
would've been
today.
cool.
Bring her to the boat. Do not kill her. Save
Well,
her.
I'm seeing Shang Tsung. I'm not Shang Tsung. Kano for the first time
With the prosthetic.
That totally still holds up to this day.
It looks
love
better
the
than
way it
most
has that
movies.
subtle Terminator glow. The eye. It still looks fantastic.
Well, and how they made the eye behind it have no reflection and stuff.
Yeah, you don't
was
see any eye
sick.
behind it, but it still glows. It still reflects.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's
It
a
was-
really cool
and
prosthetic.
it looks great, man. I'm so much more practical than anything else, and we'll get into that the more we get into this movie because there's some really cool practical effects in this, dude.
Yeah.
So then we get to Johnny Cage.
Johnny.
This is the part where you fall down.
I love Johnny so much.
This is where you fall down.
I
love
actually
Johnny.
loved this actor. Lyndon Ashby is charming. He's like really good as Johnny, man.
Yeah, and he has a good arc.
Yeah,
he has
dude,
a good arc in this movie.
100%. And dude, it's funny thing is so Robin Shou, this was his first ever American movie. And Lyndon Ashby, it's like he was a fighter, and like this was like his first like bigger movie, and they wound up doing most of the fight choreography themselves and handling all of the extra shots, like the add-on shots that were brought in. Dude, these dudes got injured on set
bad.
multiple times, really bad. But
They
they
didn't even
put
like
in the
get
work for
paid
this,
extra
dude.
for
No,
being
no, no.
like
They just did
choreographers
it.
or anything.
And like, dude, and Robin Shou brought in all the info that he had from working in Hong Kong and all the wire work and actual like fight work and fight training and like how to film that. Paul W.S. Anderson, funny story, the director, he actually lied to the studio about knowing special effects to get this movie. So he read a bunch of books the night before about special effects, and then he just basically was like a parrot and recited everything that he remembered.
And they're like, this man's a genius.
Yeah, well, because none of them knew anything. They're like, oh my God, he knows everything he's talking about. Like, dude, this is fantastic. We should
He's
hand
just
him
talking
this
in
movie.
binary, and
give
they're
him
like,
the movie.
he's
He's
like-
gonna do great.
Yeah, he's like 0010001, and they're like, whoa.
110012.
You get this movie here. Here's
Dude,
$10 million.
Take it. Do it now. So yeah, I always thought that was really funny.
That is pretty awesome, and it's pretty baller. I mean, hey, fake it till you make it.
Exactly. But yeah, all that to say that Lyndon Ashby and Robin Shou too, they both put their hearts into this, and it really shows.
It does.
And like he's a really good fighter, man, and he looks great. He had some really good one-liners and stuff in this. I really love when he first meets Liu Kang and he tries to give him his bags, and then Liu just like. He just takes the money and drops his bags over the harbor.
But I love the look he gives them after he does it too. He's like,
dude.
"Is that what you wanted?" Yeah.
Good.
Well, and it's a great way for the characters to meet each other too.
Yeah,
because
that's
it sets
true.
up like the kind of person that Johnny is. He's just very abrasive.
Yeah.
And most
And,
people
like,
aren't gonna like him.
Yeah, he's kind
right
of,
out
you know,
the
he's
gate.
he's kind of a
And
Chad.
Lou just doesn't care.
He's kind of a Chad.
He's a little bit of a Chad.
So I actually forgot we meet Raiden when Lou goes back to his family to beg to be able to represent them in
yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Because brother dead.
Mortal Kombat. How he says it.
I
So
hate
we
it
get
so
introduced
much.
to Raiden, and I love Robin. She's like, this guy ain't Raiden. You think he's your thunder god? Look at him. Look at
He's
him.
like, look.
He's French.
Look.
He's like, look at him. He's French. He ain't no thunder god.
He can't even get his accent right.
Yeah, right. He's like, hey, you'll never be ready for Mortal Kombat.
Oh God. Oh my God. I love
Yeah.
this movie so much, but that's one of the things that when
I-
I watch back, I'm just like, what is he doing with his voice?
I absolutely loved it because I love Highlander. So it was just kind of like funny seeing Highlander. There can only be one. Like I envisioned it as like this is one of Highlander's like lives. It's like he's
Okay.
Raiden in one of his lives. Like, okay, I'll go with it. Why not?
Sure.
So that brings us to the boat. Now we're on the boat and we get the reveal of fan favorites Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yes.
What did you think about them being slaves to Shang Tsung? Did that bother you at all?
Honestly, when I first saw it as a kid, it was just so exciting to see them on the screen. I didn't even think that far into it. Like I didn't even think about like subtleties like that or anything like that.
How many
until
of
I
us
was
actually
older.
read the screen in the video game when we were playing? We just
That's
wanted to
true.
beat people up.
That's
How many of
true.
us
You're
actually
just
paid
like,
attention to the lore?
skip. I just
Yeah,
wanna kill
come on
stuff.
now. Come on now. How many of us
Yeah.
actually paid attention to the lore?
But no, I was just so excited to see them on screen because of course, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the fan favorites
That's
forever
true.
and always. So yeah, I was just super excited to see them. What about you?
No, it didn't bother
Did you
me
feel
at all.
some
I just
kinda
know
way?
that like some people felt some kind of way, but like they really didn't have an established lore until after these movies and all that.
And,
'Cause,
like, after,
'cause
like,
even the actor
Sub-Zero gets
Kano,
killed.
even the actor that played Kano, like impacted the character of Kano so much that he's now Australian in every iteration.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's
so
true. I
like,
always
there's a
forget
lot
about
of
that.
things that got impacted from this movie. So
Yep.
it didn't bother me at all. We get a really, speaking of special effects, really cool special effects right here. I love it when Sub-Zero freezes the gun. That stuff looked
Yeah.
awesome. I don't know about Scorpion's little hand thing,
Yeah.
you know, but hey, it was cool at the time.
Well, and honestly, I think out of all of the things in this movie that like had the potential to scare a 7-year-old, his little like hand, whatever you want to call it, lizard, scared me the most out of anything. Out of anything in this movie, his hand thing scared the living crap out of me. I don't know why. It just made him so much scarier. So I guess, I don't know, in that respect, it worked because it freaked me out.
I can get behind that.
It was creepy.
I
The
can
way
get
it, like
behind
the way the
that.
skin like peels and like it comes out. You're just like,
I mean, like they weren't able to get the rated R. They weren't able to do fatalities. So hey, they did what they
Yeah.
could, and they brought the elements they could. So I
no,
loved it.
that it was scary.
But then we get Raiden coming in. You cannot fight my fighters. These are my fighters. He's like, you guys are gonna be the ones to save the Earth from Mortal Kombat.
Oh God.
No.
But what's
And
that?
everybody's like, what? Who
Like,
are
who
you?
is this
Why
nerd?
are like what is this?
Who is
He
this
is Raiden.
nerd?
He is the God of Thunder. And I love how Johnny's like, oh, right. The God of
Like,
Thunder.
sure.
Sure.
Okay, he still
Right.
thinks that
They're
he's
on a
just
movie
going
set.
to that he's just going to go to some karate tournament in like, you know, like I don't know, where did he think he was going? I forget.
I don't even know.
Because Shang Tsung disguises himself as an old fighter that Johnny had worked with in the past, and he convinces him to go to this tournament that he thinks he's going to. So he's still just like, I mean,
we're all gonna fight anyway, man. But
Yeah.
we'll be going back to party. It's so cool, dude. We're gonna be all right.
he's got
You
all
know
this
who I am?
luggage
You want a
and
picture?
shit.
Want a picture, man?
Yeah, he thinks he's gonna be signing autographs.
Well, I mean,
He's gonna be doing
he did
forms.
see that one fighter, the one fighter that like he knew while they were getting on
Yeah,
the boat.
yeah, later
So that's
on,
why
yeah.
I think he still thinks it's like a competition. Like, okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna
no.
save the Earth, right?
You have no idea, but I have to say that boat is another thing that really holds up.
Oh
for
my
me.
God, yes.
that was a
dude.
really cool. I mean, would you it was a
It was
set.
practical.
It was a
practical
set. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell now over time, like you can tell it was just a boat just rocking,
Yeah,
you know,
but
in a
hey,
sound studio.
It still worked, man.
But,
I mean, if Pirates of the Caribbean could get away with it,
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the look of the boat, and the whole
I thought it did really
set
good
decoration was
at-
really cool.
at being the world building piece and like taking them off to another world.
Yeah.
It really did great at making Shang Tsung's island a different realm. That's what I
That's true.
liked as it. And you know, we get that it has begun.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah.
the Death Eater in the sky.
Yeah. So we get that, and now we're on the island where they get them rowboats going in. Another crazy story. They actually, the only way that they could get onto that filming location and get onto set was by taking those boats in every day. So they would be stuck there for like 18 hours filming the whole day, and then have to row back to land and go back to land.
See, that
So
would
that's
suck,
crazy.
but it's actually a cool way
It
to
adds
get into
character, like right? It gives
because
you all
you
that
feel,
time.
yeah, you actually feel like you're like stuck in
It's
a
like, all
different
right.
world. You're like abandoned on this
Let's
island
go.
in the middle of nowhere.
We're gonna go fight some demons, man.
Yeah, you don't know
All
where
right.
you're at.
Yeah, man. I think that it added to the character.
Yeah.
And then we get that funny scene of Johnny's luggage. He got the luggage all falling down because he's still carrying it
Yeah,
with
they're
him.
going up Shang Tsung's tower and all his luggage is falling
let
down.
it go.
You're just like, look at this dick.
Let it go. All their big old beepers and
Yeah, they're trying
phones
to
ain't
they're trying
working.
to call. Yeah, she pulls out her compass. Like Lou's like, take out your compass. He's like, this
It's
is the first
magnetic,
time he's
right?
ever been here, and he knows
And now he's
everything
like
about
confident
it.
because he like believes all the stories are true. I'm cool here. I know what I'm in for.
Look, brother died. I know.
Brother died. I
Brother
know.
died. I know. That's why I'm here. But
Um,
yeah, it was funny like how dated it is that they're pulling out she's pulling out like her big like walkie-talkie cell phone like, hey, can anyone hear me? And Lou's like, bro, ain't gonna work.
Right? Like, put it down.
And put it down.
So now we get to the infamous like ball scene, like the food, the dinner
The banquet.
banquet,
The
as
banquet
some
hall.
might say. And this scene, actually, funny story, was a reshoot, because they wanted to add more fight scenes and more scenes with iconic characters. Because they said in a first test screening that there wasn't enough of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They were really just background characters.
That's what everyone wants, man.
Yeah, so they filmed these, and the practical effects in this were so awesome. The ice shattering effects scared me so much,
God.
dude. the greased up dudes just standing there with their shirts off. That kind of scared me too, man. I was like, yo, these dudes are intense, man. There's a lot of pecs.
A lot of pecs.
A lot of pecs. A lot
But
of
I
man
love
boobs.
that like I love the whole setup of that scene. I love that first the scene starts with these, you know,
all the food being
these big beefy people bringing in these big huge baked chickens, and you have all this food, and you think it's going to be like the first day of Hogwarts. Everyone's just going to dive in. Everyone's just going to eat everything. And they set all this up, flip the tables. No one eats a thing. And then they bring all these beefed up grease guys in, and they're all strutting. And one guy comes forward, and he's doing his crazy moves and, you know, forms and everything. And then he's just
dead.
Murked immediately.
Just dead.
It's like all this setup after setup after setup for things to just be like, nah.
Yep. It was, but dude, it was pretty awesome, dude. Seeing the whoosh.
Yeah, the way he like summons the ice.
I
was
loved
very
it, man.
Cool. It was cool.
And I loved his costume. We didn't really talk about that when we first were introduced, but their costumes were awesome for back then. I loved the masks. I loved the
yeah.
blue.
Well, and I loved the simplicity of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It was very much.
It was like a ninja,
right from the game. Yeah.
Well, and
but
like a practical ninja's outfit
Yeah.
would be. That's why what I liked about it, because it was rooted in reality.
Yeah, they looked like easy to move in. Like you could actually fight
Yeah.
in them, and like it's something like someone would actually wear.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even though it was bright blue, like this color.
So
That's okay.
now we get to the only person that actually eats, and that's Kano.
Oh God.
As he's ripping that turkey leg and talking to the killer animatronic Goro.
Yes.
Goro, who broke down millions of times, cost millions of dollars, barely worked, was the biggest diva on set.
Yeah.
Don't get it wet.
Worse than Johnny.
Yeah. Another funny story about like the set and like Johnny Cage. So Tom Cruise got kicked off the set of this movie a bunch because apparently like he was a big fan of the game and he heard about it and he came over and like I guess one of the production people were like he's like, hey, is that Mortal Kombat? Can I come in there? He's like, are you in it?
Like, go
they're
away.
Like, he's like, no, go away.
Go away, Tom Cruise.
Go away. He's like, so I thought that was funny.
Oh my
But-
God, that doesn't surprise me at all, though.
But yeah, so
Such
we
a weirdo.
So we see that awesome Goro, dude. I thought that thing was real. When I was little,
Oh,
I thought it was the
yeah.
coolest thing in the world.
Second
I
scariest
still
thing in the whole movie.
think that these types of effects need to be brought back. They are the best. They stand the test of time. We have better technology. We have better artists. People can be doing this and pushing the bar and doing something new with it.
Yeah.
And they need to allow people to do that is one thing I think needs to start happening.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's becoming a lost art, and it's like in that Star Wars thing that we were just watching. When you do CGI, you have to make it perfect, or it's going to
Yes.
stand out like a sore thumb. Or if you use something practical or an animatronic, it just has to work as an animatronic because people know that and they accept it.
Exactly.
that's the
What they're
beauty of it.
familiar with. Even though it's not
Exactly.
like what would realistically happen, it's what our mind thinks of and you know.
Yeah, we're able to accept it better because we know it's not real.
Exactly.
So you don't have to make it as perfect, and I can only imagine it's so much cheaper
Who knows, man?
than tens of thousands of hours of rendering. I mean, unless you're Goro in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into a CGI Goro.
Well,
But yeah, so like now let's get into the fights. Let's kind of go through. We can kind of go through these a little quick. We get Lou and our Capoeira dude with the dreads. Yeah,
Yep.
fighting. Kills him. Your soul is mine. That
so good.
that was cool. We get Sona versus Kano, the big moment, which is crazy. They set it up to where you think she's going to be a little bit bigger of a character, but like her moment with Kano is over in a flash. She just snaps
Yeah.
his neck.
Yeah,
He goes, finish him.
it was a pretty short fight.
Yeah, I mean, like she did that though.
She did.
She got her revenge. It was pretty badass.
Yeah,
Then we
like
get-
she killed him with her thighs.
Then we get Lou and Kitana, where
Oh,
she's
yes.
like basically just like coming on to him.
The sexiest fight in the
Yeah,
whole
just
movie.
just coming on to him the whole time and giving him secrets. For your next battle, use the element of water.
Yeah, with
you're
all
like,
her cryptic
All
shit.
right, cool.
She like puts him in a headlock. Like,
Shang Tsung ain't liking
all
that.
sexy.
He ain't liking that.
He's like, hi.
Then he sends Reptile to go and watch them. We have that cool CGI
Mm-hmm.
Reptile, which
It was really cool.
I
at the
like what they
time.
did with him later. I like later in the movie what they do with Reptile.
It was
but,
much better later.
But yeah, so we get into that, and then we get Johnny versus Goro, and the infamous nut punch. Bang! We get the those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Well, and when Goro first walks in, like talking about the soundtrack again, the boom, 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 was just so good,
Oh.
so good. That was probably my favorite, like original song on the score.
Yeah.
Was Goro's song. It was just so metal to me before I really knew what metal like really was. And I just loved it. I loved how like scary it was.
Oh, dude, it was so awesome. I
was
loved all
perfect.
of their stuff, man.
Yeah.
And it was really metal. A lot of it
It
was
was so
super metal.
metal.
Welcome.
But that fight was awesome. It was funny when he fell over the thing because it's a big old like,
I know.
mess. But it was cool, dude.
Not as bad as RoboCop though. Not as bad as falling out the window in RoboCop.
RoboCop. Yo, if we could get into that movie, that series.
Yeah, if you guys want us to do RoboCop, let us know in the comments.
vote down below. Let us.
So we
know.
can talk about RoboCop all day.
Oh man, yeah, but all right. So yeah, man. So we get through all these fights, and we get to the end here, and Liu goes to challenge Shang Tsung, and he steals Sonya. Sonya went from being a badass to now being, save
Yeah, her
me."
first scene is going through a club, giving no fucks with a shotgun, not even caring, just like ready to murk any civilian that gets in her way. And then she becomes a damsel in distress.
Yeah, just gets sucked into Outworld.
What?
Yeah, what I
But
get it. I get
liquid-
it. You needed a reason to bring them into
I
Outworld.
know, but it's
Um,
always the girl, man. It's always the girl. Why couldn't they have taken Johnny and him been like, no?
I mean, nowadays they probably would.
And that would have been great. But no, but that's what we got, and it's okay. We accept it.
Yeah, hey, they had to make their quota for topless women, in the movie at some point.
Yeah, they had to just
So-
put Sonya in that like not GI
It was-
Jane,
no,
like
it was like-
Jane George of the Jungle
Yeah,
ripped
dude,
up
it
leather
was like
with the
it was
teased hair.
it was like the Flintstones outfit, man.
Oh my god.
That's like exactly what it was,
Oh
dude.
my
it
God,
was like
she
a brown
like, straight
Flintstones
out of the
outfit. Like what was
Flintstones.
that?
The smoky
Like,
eye.
What was
the
that?
big teased
Like
hair.
no.
And
yeah.
she's just having the worst time, but she looks fabulous.
Yeah. So Shang Tsung had time to get his stylist in there when he was like
Yeah, who's
strapping her up
the
like
stylist
what, he's
in
like,
Outworld?
You're gonna be my prize when I defeat Liu Kang.
Yeah, like
So-
no sense.
So yeah, we get there. They're all hiding in their robes. Yeah, we're gonna break them out. So they get there.
So
they
yeah,
break
it's
her out.
Johnny, Katana,
Yeah.
and
Lou.
who, and
Oh,
Lou.
before we get there though, we get the cool scene of Reptile being thrown into a statue and turning into a person.
Yeah.
I guess these statues in Outworld have a purpose. Whenever I guess is there more of these reptile creatures?
Yeah, and they're all
Are
over
they just
the place.
pets?
These
Are
statues
they pets
all
that are
over.
loyal? That you just throw them into a statue and then become a real boy? Is it like a Pinocchio type thing? I don't really get it. But hey, it was cool. I loved seeing Reptile in human form. I loved that fight. Oh, during that fight is where Liu Kang actually fractured his ribs. Robin
Shu.
fractured his ribs.
Yeah.
On
And
a
they left
stunt.
it in
Yeah,
the
they left
and
it
they left it in.
he just told the guy, just don't hit me on my left side, and kept fighting. It was crazy.
Yeah, what is it? He gets like kicked into one of the
Into a beam.
statues,
Yeah.
and it's like you see it, like you totally see it, like when it
It's
happens
brutal,
when you see it,
man.
and it's just like ooh. But that's like what's the old Hollywood thing? Like if someone gets hurt, leave it in.
Yep. And funny thing is, we forgot about the two most dopest fights: the Sub-Zero fight where he defeats him with water, the element of life, which was a cool effect, seeing that thing through him, like, oh. And then the Scorpion fight, which was amazing.
Scorpion and Johnny.
And those two fights were those add-in shots that I was talking about. And that Scorpion fight is where Lyndon Ashby broke his ankle, jumping from a pillar or like from a stand to down to the next
those like
one.
hard plank wood beams that they're fighting on.
Dude, I love that scene, dude. I loved it. Taking off his helmet, having the skull thing, shooting fire. Dude,
cool.
they did Scorpion well.
That set was
They
cool.
did do Scorpion well. That was awesome.
Fear Factory in the background. Yeah. That was a good scene.
Yes,
that was a good one.
All right, so now we're at our climax with Liu and Shang Tsung
and our damsel in distress,
duking it out, which was really cool because you got two trained fighters. That were cool. It was a good fight, and dude, that falling onto the spikes, man, classic ending.
That was nice. But one thing that
nightmare-inducing.
I know. But one thing that was always disappointing to me was that the spikes were spread out so far apart because he falls and only one goes through him. I would have loved to have seen him get impaled by like 15 of them, like his whole body just impaled with spikes. I mean, I get it. I guess they probably couldn't
practically
do that.
Like how to do it.
But it's like it was just crazy to me that he falls into this bed of spikes and just one goes through his chest. Even as a kid, I was like,
just that one. You're like, man, he could have missed it. He would have lived. He could have lived.
Yeah, if he was like 2 inches to the left, he would have been fine.
He would have just lost a hand.
He would have just gotten like a cut on his arm or something.
You know?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, and then we get that infamous ending shot of that hero pose sequel setup. You know, now Shao Kahn's coming. I'm coming to take over. You know, and then you get them turning around.
Yeah, like just the guy in the sky trope.
Weird CGI guy in the sky.
And Liu gets to say goodbye to his brother. All the souls that Shang Tsung had absorbed release, and he gets to say goodbye to his brother.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. That was
Liu,
a very satisfying moment.
You saved me.
He's like, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye, Liu. Goodbye.
But yeah, that ending had you really excited for the next one. It gave you high hopes.
Oh man, did it
for
give
what
you
was
high
to come.
hopes, man? And sadly enough, I don't know, dude. I have such a love for the sequel. I have such a love. But you know, this I think started that whole trope in Hollywood where it's like, just recast a couple of people. You know, those guys didn't go over too well. We don't want to pay those actors anymore. Just recast them. And it was like the first kind of like soft reboot. You know, they tried to just live off of the success of the first one and just kind of ride off the coattails without adding more to it or even living up to the bar that they set themselves.
Yeah, because they thought they could just keep riding on the Mortal Kombat name. One thing, like, going to that I absolutely... Oop, I'll fix this. That I absolutely love that's on the original poster for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Destroy all expectations.
Oh, yeah, because they will not
So they were
to
setting
it.
you up for disappointment with this one. 100%. But so yeah, tell us a little bit about Annihilation.
So Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out in 1997, dude, only 2 years after the first. So this was like the first of that trope. Like back then there wasn't big franchises that were like Spider-Man putting out a movie every 2 years. Like it was like you wanted the movie to sit and settle, because if it doesn't live up to it, people are gonna be like, what the hell? And people were like, what the hell? So this movie was directed by John R. Leonetti, with a budget of $30 million. It is starring Robin Shou, Sandra Baez, Talisa Soto, Lynn Williams, Brian Thompson, James Remar, and Medusa Sander.
James Remar. Yeah, so who out of that whole cast was in the first movie?
You got Liu Kang, and Katana, and that is it. We
That's
got
it.
Raiden got recast, and we got discount James Raymar, Ray Den.
Ray.
We
Den.
got Ray Den. Look, everybody, see, Ray Den. You know, just
Not
recast
even
him.
Raiden.
Not even Raiden, man. Ray Den. This is original, man. We had some fun finding some stuff for this, but yeah, no. So they recast it with James Raymar, who everybody will know, Dexter's dad, and also he was the original Hicks in Aliens, but got fired from the set for being a little, if you know what I'm saying.
Hitting the slopes and
hitting the
shooting
candy,
guns.
if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, dude. So it was interesting seeing him in this. This is definitely when he was going through "I'm sober now" phase. I wanted to show
And
off his
boy,
body and was
was he. No
shirtless. His delivery, man.
personality.
Yo, I think he might have taken a page from Christopher Walken's book and
Taking
taken
out
out all the punctuation and just was like, I'm just gonna roll with the words.
But like
And
no
say
expression on
things
his
how
face.
I
There's
want
not one
to say
scene
them.
that like you believe what he's saying.
No.
Like, cause he's just like, I believe in humans and I would like Outworld to be destroyed.
Yeah, so they totally cheaped out on this movie.
Little bit.
They didn't want to pay the actors more. Robin Shue was contracted for 3 movies. They only did 2, luckily. And so he was the only one that was contracted to come back, but nobody else was, and they didn't want to pay for it. And it really shows in the production value of this film. It really, really shows. And it's sad, dude, because they started
Yeah.
off with the badass soundtrack. And
Yeah.
you think it's going to be awesome.
The soundtrack is great.
And then
in
it
this
starts
one.
off with a bunch of jank right off the gate.
A
Now
bunch
we
of
got
jank.
new Shao Kahn, who is like WWE discount, Shao Kahn. We got Sindel, who is, a woman of the night, I'll say. And then we
But
got
I
got-
like low-key love her.
we
in
got
this.
Mataro. We got Rain.
We got Shiva.
Shiva. We got all these characters for no reason. They come and bombarded you with characters right away.
Yeah, you see Shao Kahn's whole ass squad
Whole army.
right out the gate.
Yep.
You get all those characters right off the bat. And I think they thought that was going to be really cool.
Yeah.
That they were, jam packing you with all these characters from the game that you didn't get before. But it's like they don't follow up on it.
Yeah,
They throw them all at you and then there's no payoff because not a single one of them does anything cool.
It's wild. So
They all die like punks.
yeah. So in
Spoiler.
in this movie, because in the last one, the Earthrealm won Mortal Kombat. They defeated Outworld in the 10th consecutive Mortal Kombat, so they won. And now Shao Kahn is like, screw that. I'm coming to Earthrealm, and I'm taking it anyway, and I'm bringing my people. And everybody's like, what the hell is going on? No. So now the realms are melding.
Literally.
Yeah. So
like
I mean, hey, it's cool. It could have been a cool plot because it followed the plot of the games, and it really
Yeah.
could have been cool. But we got like our best WWE fan film version. We get right into it with our new Johnny Cage, new Sonya Blade, new
at least
Raiden.
he looked close enough to Lyndon Ashby.
It did kind of.
He could have pulled it off.
Dude, Lyndon read one line, was like, "Nope, not doing this."
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and they killed him in the first 5 minutes. He's dead.
And no one does anything
Nobody
to stop
tries
it.
to stop him.
You have
Raiden's a
Sonya,
god. You got
Raiden.
powers, man. He even holds his finger out like he could have stopped them. He's going to kill him. Come on, man.
They just won Mortal Kombat in the last movie,
Like, come on,
and
man.
they do nothing to save Johnny.
Come on, man. So
Like,
yeah, so
what?
now he's gone, and then you got our weird fights going on because they're
Oh my
actually
God.
using the sound effects from the games. It sounds like you got James Raymar jumping in the air. You got fucking dude jumping in the air at each other, just shooting fireballs. Dude, these special effects don't look good because they
bad.
were never finished. This movie, before they did the test screening, it was not finished in visual effects yet. And instead of allowing them to finish it afterwards because the test screenings went well, people were like, "Oh yeah, it was good." They're like, "Just good. Put it out now." Because they want to put any more money into it.
Greedy.
Ridiculous. So, it shows, man, and it shows big time. You get Sindel in that weird costume. She's like, you were dead.
Yeah,
Hi,
her,
daughter. I am not dead.
it's
You
like total
will
like
die.
what's that Halloween store?
Spirit.
Spirit. It's like
Like
total
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, they got her costume from Spirit Halloween. It's like so plastic and shiny
Yeah.
and just horrible. But I honestly, out of all the performances in this movie, I appreciate hers the most because she, everyone else, like I think she's the only one that realized how bad it was. So she just went for it and had fun with it. And
Yeah.
she made it extra campy. Everyone else was taking themselves too seriously. They were actually trying to act. She was just, to me, this is my headcanon. She realized, like, this is bad. I'm just going to have fun.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
she actually
I agree.
made it fun because she's like, you will die.
You will die.
And it's just amazing. That's like the funnest part of the whole movie for me.
I
was
absolutely
Sindel.
agree 100%.
I liked her.
100%.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So like we got the goofy intros, which was like really funny. And then okay, so now everybody's dead. They're coming to take over Earthrealm. So Raiden gets them away from him, brings them down, and tells them the plan. We've got to reconnect Katana with Sindel so that we can stop the Earthrealms from merging. And they have to get in these perv air balls in the middle of the earth, molestaballs. That are so strange. In there,
Totally unnecessary.
And Katana, they're like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?"
Yeah, they've been waiting for.
I know you're 1,000
years
years old, but I still love you, baby. And Raiden's just getting all creepy on Sonya, like, "Get up close to me now."
And it's interesting that their mode of travel has to be male female paired because of how close up and just like molesty it is. Like, was that really necessary?
I mean,
I mean, just saying. If it has to be male female paired, it might you might want to change your mode of transportation.
Hey, they tried their best. They tried to give us a cool effect. I guess the set was kind of cool. I guess
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
I think they're just trying to throw some sex.
Yeah.
Stuff in.
Well, now we get to the next. Like right into some fights. We get more new characters. We got Smoke. We've got Scorpion. We've got the new Sub-Zero, who's Sub-Zero's brother because he has the scar. He even tells Liu that Sub-Zero and Scorpion, people were upset that they didn't have an iconic fight. Like them versus each other. So they delivered that in this. I thought the effects were kind of cool with the bridge that he made, him flipping backwards and making a double of himself. That was cool.
I liked that a lot.
But it was very much like that old Nickelodeon show where it was like Secrets of the Hidden Temple or whatever.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, like that's what I imagined that set was. Like it was like
the
Mortal Kombat's fighting on
the
Legends
way
of the Hidden
ice
Temple.
breaks, you can totally tell it's just like on a machine.
Like a machine, yeah, dude. Like
and
for
it's
real.
meant to break at that time and that way.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it seem like they broke.
Like a Universal ride or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
so
those
it was
catastrophe
like,
rides.
All right. But all right, so Smoke's defeated. Cyber Smoke looked great, straight ripped out of the video game.
Yeah.
We love all of our cyberpunk elements in anything.
Dude,
so it
all
was
the
really cool
cyber
seeing the
guys.
cyborg and seeing him have all his gadgets. He had the thing, and then Sub-Zero froze it, blew him up. So Scorpion takes Katana. He takes her to further the thought that, oh shit, Katana is the key. So now Liu Kang's on his own. He's like, how am I going to get to Katana? Well, Sub-Zero tells him, you need to go and find Nightwolf. Nightwolf. So now we're going to get another new character.
Nightwolf.
Nightwolf. So yeah, in flips Nightwolf.
Literally.
Yeah, and then he hits him with the fucking tomahawk. But yeah, he actually looked cool. He looked straight out of the game.
He looked great.
It was
I was
weird
like
the way that he was
convinced.
walking and like, yeah, he was a wolf. And he's like, yeah, how'd you like that?
Yeah, he's like,
It was my animality. How'd you like my animality?
I totally joked when we were watching it for the rewatch for this that like the way he like does it and he's like, that was my animality. It's like a little kid when he's like, yeah, this is my new bike my dad just got me. And you're like, okay.
You're like, all right, bro. He's like, you want one too? I'll teach you how to get an animality. So he knocks him out. He tells him there's 3 tests. Now pay attention to the 3 tests thing because he only does maybe 0.5.
1 1/4.
1 1/2, maybe. I don't even know. So he knocks him out with the thing. He goes through some trippy hallucinations. Then he wakes up and now it's snowing. He went from being in the Arizona desert to now it's snowing on him.
Yep.
And there's a half-naked chick we come to find out is Jade, who is all about love me, Liu Kang.
But this scene is so weird
When she's
and
all like,
unnecessary
my greatest
too.
fear is being alone.
She's like, being alone.
being alone.
And she's trying to like talk all sexy and be all sexy.
Yeah, she's
and
trying to rub
like,
up on him and everything.
rubbing up on Lou, and he's like, this is too good to be true. And it's like,
She's like, you're too good to be true.
so weird. And you're like, wait a minute. Where was the first trial? Because she starts mentioning that this is because he's like, is this another one of Nightwolf's
Those
tests?
tests?
And you're like,
Yeah,
when was the first one?
Because then they fight. I guess the hallucination nations was the first test.
I guess.
And then I'm guessing fighting her was the second. Or no, I guess the second would probably have been
Fighting her
not screwing
temptation.
her. And then the third would have been fighting her. I guess. I don't know.
We'll just go with
And
that
then, so
because
she,
they
she,
don't
she
even
now
know.
convinces him that she knows the answers. You got to follow me. So now, all right, now we're back to Raiden and Sonya. Raiden is going to the Temple of the Elder Gods to get them involved.
Gods.
Which this was very interesting. They're all just weird elements,
Horribly,
CGI elements.
horribly animated elements.
And they're all like, "Do you love the humans enough to
yeah,
die for them?"
I love the water one. He's like, would you like for them?
They were like,
So bad. But James Remar in his amazing performance is like, yes,
He's
I
like,
trust them with my
I
life.
trust the humans with all that I have.
How can I be sure Khan's portals will stay closed until the next tournament?
Only when Shao Kahn is destroyed will the future be safe.
After living among the humans, do you truly believe them worth saving?
More than anything I know.
Do you love them enough to sacrifice your immortality?
So now Sonya is going after her man Jax, and this was a cool scene. I actually liked the new Jax. I loved that they gave him the cyber arms.
He was
I loved
having
that they were
fun.
practical.
He was
It was
having
very
fun.
interesting though that he's just like alone in this room, strapped to this table. Like, where's the doctors? How did you get knocked out? How were you planning on
Probably
getting
the
out
same
of that?
people who are the
Like, what
stylists in
happened?
the first one are the doctors in this
Oh
one.
man, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And like, did they do this to you? Did you want this done? You know, because he's like a little
Yeah,
insecure,
there's-
but it's weird. They make him insecure about his arms, and like, yeah, I hate to say it, but the writing, he was the token black guy,
Yeah,
this
a
movie.
little bit.
and
It's a
and the
little
relationship with him and
offensive.
Sonya was very interesting, man.
Yeah, it was very much Kelly Ripa and her old co-host. Like you could tell that like she was trying so hard to be
Oh
cool.
my God.
Like you didn't actually believe the friendship. You're
Yeah,
like,
he's like, oh yeah,
he wouldn't be friends
yeah,
with this
girl.
Karen.
Wait, Shao, what?
yeah.
You're here for Shao, what?
Like they make it like he doesn't know how to say con. Like
Yeah, man.
it's a
Little
little
offensive.
offensive. It's like a little like. Ooh,
But we do
okay,
get a
tone it down
badass
little
fight
bit.
scene here with Cyrax, and talk about
Yes.
an awesome cyborg fight, dude. That if you remember anything from this movie, you probably remember this fight.
Was my favorite part. Honestly, when you because when we started dating, I found out that this was actually one of his
Favorite movies, man.
Favorite
I love
Mortal
this
Kombat.
movies.
and so I was like, all right, I'll watch it again. And I honestly didn't remember a lot of it because I just think I didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
But this scene I remember like vividly as a kid because that the whole Cyrax scene was the coolest part of the whole movie.
Yeah, dude.
They
Like
did
all the
Cyrax
they did
so
all
cool.
of his things. He had the net that came out, the
little
the
bomb.
the little thing that like dissolved the dude's skin.
Yeah, the
Like,
little pellets.
Yeah, and it was funny how Jax doesn't know how to use his arms. He gets stuck in the wall. He's got to get it out
Yeah.
and stuff. That was interesting. So that was cool. But then we get to the next fight, which was a little how do you say I don't know.
Oh,
how,
which
you,
one?
You tell them about this one.
Oh, you mean the fight between Melina,
Melina,
who just comes out of nowhere as well. She literally they did
She's
a lot
like a
of
token character.
well, and they do a lot of
Like,
like
show you?
introductions where people just jump into frame.
For no reason.
They just flip in.
Yeah, they're just like,
and
now
they're like, I'm in
here.
the movie now.
Like, now I'm here.
So Melina attacks Sonya, and they have a mud fight.
Yeah.
And of course, the person that gets covered in mud the most first is Sonya, who very clearly throughout this whole movie is
just
wearing a very
white
thin white tank top with no bra, which is fine. It was the 90s. But of course, she's the first one that gets completely covered in mud, starting with the midsection. And yeah, they have this ridiculous mud fight for no reason. Where did Melina come from?
Yeah.
No establishment of
and like,
her.
it definitely was not the Katana actress. So that didn't
No,
work.
I think honestly, it was a thin Asian man for most of the fight. I really do. I don't even think they bothered with a female stunt double because there were so many times where you could tell it was just
And all
it
they
was
were
just some
doing was
little
just
guy
grabbing each other and rolling over. It was
Yeah, just a lot
whatever,
of rolling
man.
in mud.
Yeah. You get your weird CGI fight of Jax fighting the weird now big reptile thing that was a statue, but then became real. So now there's statues that become real, not things that go into statues to make them real boys. I don't know. The Outworld is a very confusing place. There's all types of creatures. Who the
Very
hell
convoluted
knows?
and sexy.
Yeah. So yeah, during this whole time though, we didn't mention these weird tattoos that keep showing up and like dragons that are like going in the sky and just poof, disappearing. And
Anytime a bad guy gets killed.
Saxonjonia,
Saxonjonia.
Sonya and Jax,
Kelly
are like,
Ripa and
"What?"
her co-host.
They're like, "What is that?" All right. But now everybody goes to the Temple of the Elder Gods. Temple of the Elder Gods. And then, Sonya's like, yeah, where's Katana? And who the hell is this? He's like, oh, hey, guys. Like, doing like a Keanu. Hey, meet Jade. They're like, what the fuck? She's like,
And
who
Sonya
the hell
is
is this? You trust
so-
this? I don't
Sonya
trust
is
this.
so catty to Jade at first,
my God.
too, which is like
She
another
can sniff it. She can
beautiful layer of misogyny that's in this movie. I don't
Or
know.
she could sniff that she was a
very,
villain. She
No,
could sniff she was a villain.
because she's like, who's this girl? Who's this other girl?
Well, she's like, where's Katana? What the hell happened? You lost the
No,
the
that
one
is
person we
true.
needed?
She is being a friend. She's like, you lose your girlfriend and you show up with this girl.
So yeah, we get the coolest moment here where Ray Den, with his
Ray
new haircut
Den.
and his new shirtless outfit, comes flipping in like Tommy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, doing
Just
all the
straight
flips,
out of the side of a
just
mountain.
out of the side of a mountain, out of the sky, into the frame. Like, what's going on, guys? We need to go to Outworld.
Yeah, so apparently he gave up his
He's
powers.
like, I'm human now.
So that he could fight with them in Outworld. So he's not a god. He's just Ray.
He's just Ray. He's no longer even Den. He's just Ray.
with his Aladdin vest.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. So, cool fun fact about this. This is Ray Park, the actor who plays Darth Maul's first ever movie. He is the stunt double for Ray Den. He is a James Raymar stunt double, and you can clearly tell when they go to Outworld that it is all Ray Park, all the movement, all the fighting, and James
Totally.
Raymar just comes back in the scene like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just jumps
yeah.
in.
So
like,
now we got to go to Outworld, and we get to Outworld, and people get split up. So now Raiden doesn't have powers, but he's still gonna fight.
Yeah.
Liu is off fighting. He's off to get Katana, and he's gonna fight Baraka, Saxonjonia, and
Saxonjonia.
are fighting Sindel, trying to find Katana, fighting Sindel, and Liu and Raiden is now fighting, 6 reptiles because one wasn't cool enough. You got to give 6.
Yeah, that's
So,
sequel power, man.
So yeah, but I actually liked their outfits because it was a play on the old ones. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. Seeing Ray Park do his flips and his thing is a fun thing to see. The guy is acrobatic. He's
his
really good at what
butterfly
he does.
kicks are like legendary.
He's really, really good at what he does. So that was cool. But James Raymar coming back into frame, like, whoa. You're like, man, you didn't do none of that.
Look at this dork in this vest. You didn't do any
You're
of
like,
that
you
shit.
didn't do none of that. So they get Sindel, and she's all defeated. And Ray's like, how did that happen? Jade's like, I knocked her out. They're like, oh, okay, right. I trust that.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And then so she sets them up. She
She's a
sets them
double
up. She's a double
crosser, a
crosser. So
dirty
now
double crosser.
Jax and Sonya got to take down Jade and Sindel, while Lou is fighting Baraka, who's got these giant sword things on his arms. That actor looked so uncomfortable.
Oh my god! And that helmet
like
head.
just giant scissors.
That big helmet head.
Dude, he had to
was
jump
so
on that
jank.
on that cage thing and stuff too. They were
Yeah.
like jumping around, man. That guy had to be uncomfortable as hell.
Oh my god! I just can't imagine how many pounds the head was. It was probably
Dude.
at least 10 pounds.
Insane.
It's just stupid.
Insane. So all right. So we get to disposable characters now. Now we're into the big final fight at the end here, which was all building up to. We find out that reuniting Sindel with Katana meant nothing. That had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I like how she like tricked her
She's like,
for a second.
daughter, you didn't do nothing. And Raiden's like,
Yeah.
I was wrong. I don't know what to do. What are we gonna do?
You're
and then,
emoting way more than he did.
and then
by
we
the
see,
way.
then like we see another one of the tattoos fly off of Jade, and that's when they're like, the tattoos. And Raiden gets into this new subplot, convoluted subplot that now Shao Kahn is his brother, and those tattoos are from their dad, who's an elder god, and gives them access to the realms. So
and
those
only
are,
their family has
yeah.
them.
So, and there's a prophecy that the brother had to kill the brother to ascend to God level, and he defeated his brother, but he couldn't kill him. And Lu's like, well, dude, you better fucking do it. Like, our world is merging into this shit. Like, kill this motherfucker.
like, you didn't tell us
And
any
he's
of
like,
this before?
No, I can't. And he's like, you gotta do it, dude. You do it. I'm not gonna get my hands dirty. It's like, man, what the hell, bro? Like, oh, all right. Fuck me, right? So now we get to the disposable fight. Everybody's up on their tiers, their tier levels. We got a new character with Ermac because Rain got killed off. But it's just Rain with a different color.
Yep.
So
and Shiva got killed off like a punk.
yeah, but we do get some cool fights with Mataro and Jax. Jax takes off the arms. He learns how that he's better with his human skin and believing in himself.
But I love how he peels off very obvious foam, like craft foam arms. Like they literally just like peel. It's like not even metal. It's like so bad.
You got Katana and Sindel going cool. You got Ermac and Sonya, who then becomes makes Noob Saibot, which I thought was cool. The black version.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool. And then you get the worst atrocity of this film with the way that James Raymar goes out, that's pretty bad. So that's not the worst, but it's pretty bad the way James Raymar goes out. So Shao Kahn
Biggest
and Raiden.
punk.
This is we think it's gonna. All right, here we go. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Dude, Shao Kahn just shoots one fireball. And Raiden just.
That's it. Done. Out. Down.
You should have killed me when you had the chance, brother.
My brother died a long time ago. His heart, anyway.
Like literally, we should have expected that most of the people were gonna die like this in the movie because they killed Johnny in 3 seconds.
I
just
get.
snapping
Yeah,
his
you
neck.
know what? We should
Because
have
you know what?
expected it.
That theme just kept going throughout the movie.
Yeah, like now they're dead. Now they're gone. They're gone. You forgot. You saw them. You forgot them. Now they're gone.
there's just there's no.
I mean, this was like really somebody doing an arcade, the old school arcade adaptation, because that's how an arcade game goes. You're just killing your people, you're moving on, killing your people, moving on, moving to your next side scroller, your next level. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I guess
like,
that's,
hey, we have a lot of characters we already unlocked. Let's just keep going.
Let's get into. We didn't get into the soundtrack. The soundtrack for this was just as good, if not better, than the first. It was so sad because like you were watching like some of these scenes and you're just like, yeah, this music's dope.
Oh,
But
especially
it-
during the Cyrax
Oh
fight.
my god!
The music
and
during the
and the
Cyrax
Sub-Zero
fight,
one was awesome.
very Prodigy like.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
So good.
So
So
good.
so you know it's sad that it was in a movie like this. So yeah, Raiden's dead. Now Lu's got to step up to bat. He's got to fight Shao Kahn, and we get the atrocity. we get the animality. The man, an animality. Man, this CGI was worse than PS1 graphics, dude. I
Oh
mean,
my
it was like
God.
arcade game graphics, dude. It was so horrible. And the CGI renders like couldn't even really like touch each other. It was like so funny. If you go back and watch it, you got the weird Hydra thing and a dragon, which makes no sense. And they're fighting each other, and then they fall on their backs and they're just sitting there like this. Like both the CGI renders are just sitting there like this with their
It's
hands and
so
just like
bad.
fighting upwards, and then they like turn back into each other and
It's
stuff.
so bad.
So bad.
It was
dude.
like the start of like the bad third act CGI unnecessary fight.
so bad.
I feel like this
yeah.
is the first one I really remember.
Yep.
Like because I remember
Wow.
this as
Yeah.
a
I guess
kid
it did
too,
start
like,
that whole trope of third act CGI fight. Bring it on. Let's get it.
So
Yep.
bad.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's the end of our movie, man. The elder gods come down. They punish the other elder god who broke the laws because now they're gonna get involved because they found out that it was an elder god. So they
For
they
once, finally.
take care of that. Earthrealm's back to normal. They bring back Raiden. Now he is Raiden, and he is an elder god. They offered him the status of elder god.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
Gets a
was
promotion.
that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and it did not go over well. People hated it,
Really?
and they tend to
Really?
bury and forget about this movie. They were supposed to have a sequel to this called Mortal Kombat Dominion, and it got tanked as soon as this came out.
And they were supposedly like people from the first movie were supposed to come back.
Supposedly,
that one.
but yet again,
Supposedly,
you
but it
have
never
producers
happens.
and stuff that don't want to pay, and they want to cheap out and make a TV show called Mortal Kombat Conquest. If you have HBO Max, go watch it. We're not going to get into that much. Just know that if there was ever a Spike TV, boobs and butts per episode quota
Yeah.
type series with maybe a Mortal Kombat reference in it every other 3 episodes, that's what that show is. So
Yeah.
you could see what was really going on behind the scenes.
It was
And
pretty
it took a
bad.
dive, man. The franchise took a dive after this. But the games really prevailed. The games got better. We got Deadly Alliance, which was incredible.
Oh,
We started
so
getting
good.
into storylines. The types of animation that they were doing was next level. It was really a good time for the games because they took it back. They took their story
Yeah,
back,
Absolutely.
and they made it their own, and they started diving into lore, and yeah, the first movie really impacted that. So yeah, as jank as it was, I absolutely loved it. I still think it's a great watch back to back. I think it's the best fan film ever made.
I'd argue
Most
that.
expensive fan film.
There you go.
Yeah.
The best high budget fan film ever made. Yeah, as much as I crap on this movie and talk shit, it is an enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
It is fun to watch, and especially, it's fun to watch like through your eyes because you love it so much,
Okay.
and you're like, you'll be like, oh yeah, so like this part, like this happened, like oh this was supposed to happen, and I'm like, okay, like so it gives me a little bit of more of an
'cause
appreciation
I'm
watching
such
with
a,
you.
a nerd that like I constantly watch special features and behind the scenes. I love filmmaking. I acted as a kid and I went to a performing arts high school. Like I love just filmmaking, all aspects of it. So I love nerding out and finding out all this stuff. And Mortal Kombat was one of the first movies that I ever did that with, because on the tape they had all the special features at the end, and it was like the first thing I ever remember having that and the first ever X-Men both on VHS. If you let the movies play till the end, it's all the special features that you would have on a DVD. So it's like a
I know.
6-hour
I
long
miss when they used to
VHS,
do
but
that, yeah.
but I loved it, dude, and I got me into this kind of stuff. Like, wow, this is how the pudding's made. This is how they make the pudding pop.
This is how they make the
But
meatloaf.
from here, they did do some cool stuff. So with like Mortal Kombat Legacy, which is also available on HBO Max. amazing web series that brought in real fighters.
So
It
good.
had awesome actors. Michael Jai White was in it.
This made me excited for Mortal
The
Kombat
actor
again.
who actually stars in our next Mortal Kombat we're going to talk about as Cole Young actually stars in Mortal Kombat Legacy. So there was 3 seasons that they made. They only released 2. In the 3rd season, his character would have been introduced. And apparently it was really awesome. And that's what kind of set him up to be in the role for this one. But I absolutely loved him. I thought they were really cool. It grounded them in reality. Michael Jai White's an awesome actor, awesome fighter, really cool to see. And it was cool to see Mortal Kombat be taken seriously and done with love. It was so sad because each episode's like 5-10 minutes and you just wanted more. You just really wanted more.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sold the studios on this can really work. And the another thing they did that is these games keep selling. They always sell. Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, yeah.
They are
It's never
always sold. Their
slowed down.
pre-sales
It has
are
never
still
slowed
going
down.
crazy. The DLCs that they put out, everybody's waiting for it. Everybody wants those new characters. Who else can we fight with now? Like, what kind of mods
And the
can we
characters
do?
that they bring in now, like, I think if they had done it 20 years ago, it wouldn't have landed. But now everyone's just all about the nostalgia. Like, now they're bringing in, like, Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Yes, RoboCop.
And RoboCop and Terminator. And I think that's because, like, all of the people that grew up playing the games, like, they're now introducing, like, now
Yeah,
they're putting in
everybody's-
the characters that, like, hit all. So it's, like, hitting all the nostalgia.
Exactly. It
stuff.
hits you all in all the right
Yeah, like, I don't think
feels.
it would have landed, like, 20 years, but
well,
now
we
it's, like,
had
the
to-
perfect
we-
time.
It grew with us. This whole thing grew with us, and it had to evolve the way that it did. And I commend them for always being above the game. You know, it's really cool.
Yep.
So that brings us to the newest incarnation, Mortal Kombat 2021.
Yes.
Killer movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, well, there were some things, we'll get into. But all right, so Mortal Kombat 2021. It was directed by Simon McQuid, starring Jessica McName, Louis Tan, Horioki Sanada, Joe Teslam, Ludi Lin, Josh Lawson, Susie Singer in Mortal Kombat. And in this movie, hunted by the fearsome warrior Sub-Zero, MMA fighter Cole Young finds sanctuary at the temple of Lord Raiden, trading with experienced fighters Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and the rogue mercenary Kano. Cole prepares to stand with Earth's greatest companions to take on the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. Credit to IMDb. What an awesome breakdown. Yo, this movie,
It was
talk about
cool.
reality, dude.
It was
Dude,
pretty cool.
from the way that they open it. Dude, like what did you think about like the hype building up to this? I was so ready for this. Like, talk about 2021. I was like, yes, we need a new Mortal Kombat. We
Yep.
need something real. We need something
I was
dirty.
ready for it. It was really smart that like the thing I appreciated the most before the movie came out was that they released the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
Which was genius because we had
Just enough.
we had just recently watched the animated movie Scorpion's Revenge, which if you have not seen that,
Definitely
it
go check
is
that out.
so
Available
good.
on HBO Max.
But that
we are
first-
not sponsored, by the way.
No. But the first 5 minutes of that were taken right from Scorpion's Revenge. So I was like, okay,
Dude.
this movie is in the right hands.
Dude, you felt
These
like you
people
were
are
in
fans. They love this franchise. Like, they know what they're doing.
You felt like you were in feudal Japan.
Yep.
Scorpion felt real. The Lin Kuei felt real. Sub-Zero felt terrifying. Dude, his ice thing, dude, freezing the mother and the son like that, terrifying,
God.
dude.
That beginning scene is just
I
wrenching.
absolutely loved how his dagger is his wife's kunai,
Yes.
her gardening kunai that
Yes.
that he puts on, and he just murks dudes and takes them down. And dude, he's giving Sub-Zero a run for his money, man. And these fighters,
Yeah, he
dude,
takes on like half of the Lin Kuei by himself.
yeah, dude, Sonata is a badass fighter, man. I mean, he was in a lot of killer movies now. And he did like he was the guy who fought Ronin in Endgame the Japanese fighter that he fights in Endgame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the one that with fighting with the katana that Ronin kills.
Oh.
Yeah, that Hawkeye kills when he's Ronin.
I have to see
that's-
that again.
yeah,
I have to see that
that's
again.
Scorpion.
Well, and he's the oldest person to ever play Scorpion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and dude, he was great. He was great.
He was amazing.
So yeah, then we get our reveal of Raiden coming down to save
Tadanobu Asano.
the daughter because Scorpion's son and wife were murdered by Sub-Zero. He comes over and he just freezes them to death.
Yeah, just freezes them together.
He done froze them to death.
When he first comes upon them,
didn't
when he
find
first sees them.
The daughter. Oh, what about Scorpion crawling to his baby? You think Scorpion's dead, but then that baby starts to cry, and man, he is inching his way ever
It
so
gives
closely.
me chills every time.
Ah.
Yeah, because at the last second before Sub-Zero takes hold of the wife and son, she decides to hide the baby under a floorboard. So amazing mom, quick thinking, hides the baby really quick, and then he kills the two of them and their son. And oh my God, yeah, that scene where he is laid out, bleeding to death, and he's just crawling to that baby is just like, oh my God, it's so emotional.
It's heart-wrenching, man.
It was so well done,
But-
and they made you care for all these characters so quickly with
Yeah, they
very,
really
very
did.
little backgrounds.
They really did. And then
They did
Raiden,
such a good job.
Raiden coming down and saving the baby though was like such a all right moment. You know,
Yeah.
you were like, all
Yeah.
right. And you know, talk about him as Raiden. You know, that's our man from Ichi the Killer.
Yes, Brother Kakihara from Ichi the Killer. I
Yeah,
love
man.
Tadanobu Asano. Who's
Tadanobu
like
Asano.
my Asano. He's like my favorite Japanese actor. So anytime he pops up in anything, like when he popped up in Thor, I was like, yes. And so seeing him in like big budget American movies just always just
Hell
gets
yeah.
me so
He's such a
jazzed.
great actor, man. And
Yeah,
I really
he's
loved
awesome.
they cast this movie right by the regions, and they really did the characters justice for the first time, which was really cool to see. But from
Yeah.
here, we get thrust into our new character, Cole Young, our controversial addition to the movie. I understand that the studio wanted to have somebody that the audience could relate to. They wanted
Yeah.
to give us somebody who had like a newer fighting style and do all that. I still think that they could have picked a different character. We have so many characters in this thing that you could have kept going with the
Yeah.
Liu Kang story, but I guess they felt we already saw that and we wanted to give something else.
That's true. Yeah, like they wanted to give the fans what they wanted, but something fresh. So you
Yeah.
couldn't like predict what was going to happen or know what the lore was necessarily.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that if you're going to introduce a new fighter into the Mortal Kombat universe, that he's a mixed martial artist, because that's very modern.
Yes, it's
That's
very
with the times,
2022.
and that it makes sense. That's how it would be.
100%. And you know, it's funny. He's a washed-up fighter. He's just there just to get paid. He just to get beat
Yeah,
on.
he fights for like $5 a
Yeah,
night.
just to get paid to get beat on. And his daughter is there as his little wingman in the sides. Tell him, use your uppercut. But it's so weird
Yeah.
when you first see him, you don't know if it's like his sister or his daughter. You're not quite sure.
Yeah, because he seems so young, and their relationship, and it's not even like it's a bad thing, but their relationship is so like buddy. Like I was totally with you. Like when the first time that I saw it, I like wasn't quite sure. I wasn't quite sure that his wife was his wife.
Yeah,
I thought it was his ex-wife, and then this was his sister. It was
you didn't know how to read.
kind of
read it in
weird.
the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. Until he like kisses the wife, and then like they all go out to get ice cream
Yeah,
together
so
after
that,
the
so
fight.
that,
Like
that brings us into our next introduction of Jax. I loved this actor. I thought he was perfect to play Jax.
He's amazing.
And cool story is this actor loves Mortal Kombat. He used to dress up as Scorpion for Halloween every year as a kid.
Which is so cool. You want to hear that.
Yeah, so
that's what makes
it was
movies
really
now
cool.
so good. These fan movies, you know, like the Star Wars TV shows and everything like that, because they're in the hands of fans.
People that love
fans
this
are writing
stuff.
it, fans are playing it. So there's just love in it, and you can see it with this actor playing Jax. Like, he was just having so much fun, and he just loved it so much.
Yeah, 100%, man. So now we get the introduction of these weird brands, birthmarks, dragon thing that Cole has one.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, hey,
Better
man,
than the
where'd you get that-
tattoos.
Where'd you get that dragon thing you got there? Hey, you know? And he's like, oh, it's a birthmark. Oh, yeah? Let me see it. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. So, yeah, now
like,
Cole's going off with
okay.
his kid. He's like, all right, stay away from me, weirdo. Goes off with his kid to his wife. We figure out that that's his wife. Jax is stalking him, sitting in his car. We get our badass introduction, real introduction to Sub-Zero, because before it was Bahan.
Oh, yeah, it was just
And
Bihan
now
before.
it's Sub-Zero in the
Yep.
full costume, looking like a badass samurai.
Cool.
Kind of looked more Noob Saibot to me than Sub-Zero, but
yeah,
I'll
the
take
blue
it.
was subtle. The blue was
Hey,
very subtle.
I'll take it. You
But
know,
the detailing in that mask, you know,
Oh,
all the texture.
dude, all the
that they
scale
put in
mail
it.
that they made
Yeah,
for him,
it
dude.
was
Oh
just
my
so
god, it was
good.
beautiful.
The prophecy is upon us, which means we could lose the 10th tournament.
There is no prophecy. Hanzo is a ghost. I killed him centuries ago.
One fun fact about this scene with our introduction of Sub-Zero, they actually built a real functioning ice cannon.
Hell yes.
So all of that ice that you see shooting and raining down and all that,
It's all
that's
practical,
all
man.
practical.
It's all real. Dude, they had
Which
an
is
ice
so cool.
department.
Yeah, they literally would get those huge cubes of ice that you
How much
carve
fun
ice
would that
sculptures
be,
out
dude?
of and putting it in a cannon.
How much fun would that be? Your job
Oh
is
my God.
to blow up and shoot ice.
And yeah, and the special effects guy was like, this is literally the first time in my life that I have ever made an ice cannon, and I'm super stoked on it. Like, he was so excited
man,
about
it.
it.
was really, really cool to see.
It was cool, and it comes through in the film because the way it interacts with the way it explodes on the ground when all the ice crystals shoot around.
Oh yeah,
It
dude.
just makes it so much
and when
cooler.
it hits the table, it really has impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. And another thing is the director was really a lover of this franchise and wanted to do it justice.
Yep.
So we get Sub-Zero coming after Cole. Jax comes in for the heroic save. Get in the car. Let's get out of here. And then Jax is like, get out of here. Get your kids safe. Go to Sonya. Go to this address. Tell her I sent you. I'm going to take this weird Iceman down by myself with this gun.
Well, and I love how he's quickly go to 123 Street in Washington. And
Yeah, and you're like,
and I'm
he's just supposed to remember that?
yeah, me watching it, I'm like, okay, try to remember it. My anxiety's going because I'm like, okay, we got to remember this.
Yeah, right?
How could you remember it at a time like this?
Maybe his car had one of the previous location buttons. And he was like, I remember it was in Washington Street. Oh, all right, there's an address in
Yeah,
Washington
yes.
Street. I'm gonna go. Maybe. I mean, we could say that. Let's go with that.
We'll just go
so
with that.
he just drops his wife and kid off. Just bye.
Yeah, he takes
Don't
him
even
to a
care if anybody's gonna come
motel.
after him. Just leaves him. Just bye. And our poor man Jax, dude. Our poor man Jax. Yeah, so he's coming at him with a gun. He's giving him all he's got. He's coming at him like the good soldier he is. And man, Sub-Zero's just toying with this man. He just toying with him. He just playing around. He just having fun.
He's like, you ain't nothing.
Dude, this is one of the coolest things I've seen in a movie in a long time. And cool story, if you go to that scene and you pause it in the background, look around because there's a bunch of graffiti in the background that are little Easter eggs. There's actually one that's the freeze combo for Sub-Zero is actually spray painted on the wall in the background. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But dude, when he freezes and shatters his arms, seeing each bone, each muscle burst,
All the blood
then, dude,
vessels burst. It's so grotesque and gory. They could have totally done it like they do in old movies where it just turns to ice and then shatters. But no, they did it real.
each freaking
Like, you
muscle,
saw-
each thing just When he kicks him off that ledge there, I totally thought he died.
Dude,
dude,
he lands
boom!
hard. Our dude lands hard as shit. He would not have lived.
Yeah.
He would not have lived.
So this is the last that we see of Jax for a while, and people kind of forget
Yeah.
about our man. It's kind of sad, you know?
I
It's
know. He
kinda sad.
sacrificed himself and everything.
It's kind of sad. So now we get to Sonya's place. And Cole's breaking in. And he's like, "What the fuck? How am I supposed to get into this thing? It's like a junkyard." She like lives on a junkyard.
She's like a weird
She's
hoarder.
like a weird hoarder junker. She's just hanging out there. She comes after him. He's like, "Hey, Jack sent me." Shows the tattoo. Oh shit! Comes into her hideout. She's got some dude chained up. It's Kano. Kano's all chained up. So, what did you think of the change to the Kano character and the Kano and Sonya dynamic? Since it's not the same
I
one
was
that we knew.
totally okay with it. I loved it because it was another thing that I appreciated that they were trying to change, because the whole
Okay,
you know,
killed my partner.
Sonya killed my partner. I'm coming after you trope. I liked that their dynamic was a little different, but I loved how much of a hilarious cocky
Oh my God.
asshole
He's one of the
Kano
best
was.
parts of this whole movie, dude.
I absolutely loved it, especially like the next scene when with Reptile when he
Oh
has
my
to fight
God,
the
dude.
big reptile.
Yo, that fatality move. Oh my
he goes
God.
in and rips his heart
So
out.
crazy. So yeah, so I agree. I think if you're gonna change it, this was the way to do it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing was a lot of it was inspired by these actors' actual relationships with each other, because they were the only two actors that actually knew each other, and they were like good friends. So they just had this natural banter with each
Yeah.
other, and it really shined through.
Oh yeah, their chemistry was
yeah.
great. It was really good.
So you get the weird moment where Sonya's now explaining what Mortal Kombat is to Cole, and we must
and she's
fight.
got all these
And
pictures
you see like Kotal
everywhere.
Khan. You see a reference
Yes,
to Kotal Khan.
it's
you
cool.
See,
Yeah, like all the little Easter eggs. She's got all
Yeah.
these news clippings from around
yeah. You
the
see
world.
like Raiden's temple. They're trying to
Yep.
get to, but during that, in comes in our new reptile, who is very like Deadly Alliance looking reptile, more like creature than
Yeah.
person. CGI was cool. I mean, I guess so. It's a modern movie. You're gonna have CGI. It's a lot better than the first movie. The fight was
Yeah.
awesome. I loved that. I love
It was a good
Sonya
fight.
gets Kano in his own leg.
Yeah.
But Kano ripping out his heart, dude, and then even saying Kano wins. That was so.
And he's just like, oh, this is cool. The fake out with Reptile
Scratching his
scratching
face?
up the left side of his face, and you think like, oh, is this where he's gonna get his prosthetic? And no, not yet.
They make
But it was
you
a
wait,
nice, it was a
man.
nice fake out.
They
It was a
making
good
you
fake
wait.
out.
Yeah, that was awesome. And so then we get to Kano's now leaving. He's like, "Hey, you want to get to Raiden's temple? Ah, well, good luck." So we get to the scene where Sonya convinces Kano to take him there by telling him she's going to pay him $3 million.
Well, it's $2 million at first.
Yeah.
And he's like, you live in this shithole.
And you got $2 million?
But her convincing him, she's like, hey, I've lived in this shithole my whole life. You don't say that. And he's
Watch
just
your
like,
mouth.
okay.
I guess that's all he needed, you know?
That's all he needed. But then she turns around and he's like, $3 million. And she's like, I'm not giving you nothing, so sure.
And I love it. Cole's like, you got $3 million? She's like, I live in this shithole. You
I
think
know.
got $3
That
million?
was pretty good. That was
Yeah.
good.
So then we get Kano's mom or whatever dropping them off on the plane.
See,
to
you
their-
think it's his mom.
to this
I don't-
weird area.
I
Yeah,
think it's
dude,
just
'cause of
some
the-
lady.
Look back to the conversation right back there. It's his mom. I'm telling you, it's his
Okay.
mom.
All right.
So she drops him off. They don't really know where they're going. They're wandering around the desert. We get introduced to the new Liu Kang with his fireball. I love this because Kano's like, "Whoa! Did you just shoot fireballs? Am I gonna shoot fireballs? Am I gonna get superpowers? Do you got superpowers?
I love
I
your
wanna get
Australian
superpowers."
accent, by the way. It's great.
It's like, all right, crikey, I want superpowers. And I love Liu Kang's just like, "Psh, shut up, follow me. Follow me.
What
to
did you
Earth's
think
realm."
about this, Lou? He was a little
He
dry
was
for
a
me.
good
He was-
fighter.
Yeah.
He was a background role. He was a background
Yeah,
role.
he was just kind of there.
Yeah, honestly, there's him and Kung Lao both to me were just kind of there. So
Yeah.
so now we get to Raiden's temple, which was very interesting. It wasn't like the first movie where you had these beautiful, elaborate, actual temples. It was just a hole in the wall or in the earth, a
Yeah.
giant cave in the earth.
But this was all practical. They did
Yeah,
not
it was
make
real
sets.
scenery.
It was all
real
filmed
scenery.
in Adelaide, Australia, and this was the biggest production that they've ever had in Adelaide, Australia.
It's crazy. They made it look
Which
like
is
multiple
crazy.
different countries and multiple
Yeah.
different places.
And it's a beautiful area. It's like, why don't
That's
more
one
people
thing
shoot
that
there?
I do think that they overdid a little bit was enhancing the environment with CGI, because the
Yeah.
environments alone, when you go and watch the special features of how they made it, they looked beautiful on their own.
Didn't
But I
need
get
it.
it because they wanted to make it otherworldly, so they were trying to change it up. So yeah, so now we get introduced to Raiden and Kung Lao coming up from the ground with his hat.
His moves were cool. And he had all
Yeah.
the Kung Lao moves.
Oh, dude, it was
down.
pretty cool. Yeah, and these two actors were actually a part of Jackie Chan's stunt team for 10 years.
Liu Kang and
Liu Kang and Kung
Kung Lao. Yep.
Yeah, they were part of Jackie Chan's stunt team for 10 years, which was really freaking awesome. Yeah, you
And
know,
you
that
know
they're
they're
gotta
the
be
best of
good.
the best.
Like,
if
and
they're part of his stunt team.
And that's one thing you can't argue with. The fighting is good.
Yeah.
The fighting is good. But we get Raiden. Raiden's kind of emo in this. He's kind of like, you're my fighters. I don't even like you. I don't trust you. You're worthless. Get
Yeah,
out
he's
of
no
here.
James Remar.
What am I gonna do with you? At least he's just straight to the point. Like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? You don't even have powers yet. We gotta train you. We ain't got time for all this.
But
Man.
I like that. I like that. I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
and I did like it too. So this is where we get the trope of Outworld coming anyway to Earthrealm.
Yep.
We're not waiting for a tournament. We're gonna kill him anyway because there's
'Cause
now a
Who
prophecy.
needs a tournament in Mortal Kombat?
There's now a prophecy that Scorpion's bloodline will be the one to defeat Outworld, and they are worried that one of Scorpion's bloodlines survived, but Bihan is convinced he killed them all.
Yes.
So now they're coming to Earthrealm now because screw it, we're just gonna go to Raiden's temple and we're gonna kill you all. Why not? So they show up. Raiden's got to put up this big shield, which was kind of cool, I guess. I mean, it was cool seeing him put his staff down and like do that cool move.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him like use some powers that we
Yeah.
haven't seen.
And it was kind of a cool like nod to like the training areas in the game because now they have to train
Yeah.
and stuff so they can unlock their Harkana. So they find out these tattoos are a mystical thing. It gives you the ability to summon your Harkana.
yeah, and that's like their
And
way
that's
of
how they
explaining,
explain the
powers.
powers. What did you think? What did you think of the Harkana concept?
It's another thing that I appreciated that they were trying to do something different. They were trying to explain because I mean in the games as they progressed, like Liu Kang, he got the fireballs. Johnny Cage got that like sonic green
Oh yeah,
kick
yeah,
and
yeah.
the green goo that he can
Oh,
throw.
true.
So it's like I appreciated that they were trying to explain the unexplainable
yeah. I think it was
a little bit.
good concept, poor execution.
Okay. Yeah.
maybe
Maybe.
poor execution.
Maybe.
But it was cool. I definitely love these little training things where Kano's like, he gives him with the sweep kick. He's like, is that the only move you got, mate? It's really cool when the way that they get Kano's Harkana to unlock because they just pick on him. Because he's like
They just bully him.
he's the shit talker. So now people are talking shit to him and he's getting all bullied. Ah! He gets his little laser eye.
Yep.
Little Terminator laser eye, which
Yep.
is cool. Sonya's all depressed because she don't got no powers at all.
Nope.
And Cole Young is like, I'm gonna go home because I can't do this and I'm emo and I don't want to fight.
Everyone's just emo.
Yeah, so Raiden though is G about it. He's like, all right, opens the portal. I ain't got time for people that don't want to fight. You want to go home? Go home. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
So he just sends him off. We get Outworld breaking in. Sonya and Melina get into that fight for a minute, where Melina tells her your death would mean nothing. We get the random introduction to Natara, who.
Oh wait, we forgot about Jax.
Oh yeah, see,
We forgot
even
about our
we
boy
forgot about
Jax.
Jax. Even we forgot
They
about
all
Jax.
forgot about him too.
Yeah, because then he's just in this back room and he's got there like Liu Kang's like, yeah, I did not get to him in time, but we have mystics from all of the realms putting fake arms on him. And
Yeah,
he's
and he
got
had
these
his little
dinky,
Deadpool arms.
got little dinky arms, man. Oh man, that was bad.
Yeah, the little Deadpool arms.
Yeah,
was
so
pretty
yeah,
great.
so we get to Jax training and all that. All the Harkonas are being unlocked. Jax unlocks his Harkana by saving Sonya. Weird moment though, because it's like if he didn't lose his arms, what would his Harkana have been? You know what I mean? Was he just going to become a cyborg anyway? Like, was metal just going to sprout for him, or is it because they put metal in him that it just enhanced the metal that was in him? I don't know. Doesn't work,
It's
but
one
it
of
still
those
was cool.
questions that gets
At least they
left
explained
unanswered.
why he has cyborg arms, and it wasn't like he was insecure. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
cool.
I liked that.
Weird fact is they actually his body in that was actually all CGI.
Yeah, his whole torso.
His torso and arms are all CGI. The only thing that's real is his legs and head, which is very very interesting.
Yeah.
It was very well done. You would have never have known.
No, I didn't know. I thought it was just the arms.
So Cole Young's back home, and who comes to attack him? Our interesting friend, CGI Goro. I hated the look of this Goro. I hated the way he moved. I hate the way he
Yeah.
fought.
I
really,
wasn't a big fan
it
of
was a
this
little
fight.
clunky. I did not like his Harkana. It was very weird. Now you have like a suit
Yeah,
that can then
it's like
turn
wraps.
into tonfas that you kill with. I don't get it. And then the editing, like you could see the seam on the back of the like foam shirt that he was wearing. You could see the seam when his daughter comes and hugs him. He's like, "Daddy, you did it!"
It's true.
And he's like, "It was because of you."
Yeah.
I did like that it was his daughter's bracelet though that turned into it. That was cool.
That was pretty neat. Yeah,
But like,
she
what
gave
is his
him the
power?
bracelet
That he
after the
can
fight
make
in the
things
beginning. I
like
don't
appear out of nowhere? Like
know.
I don't
That's
get
another
it.
thing
So
that
what
they
if
don't
he
really
didn't have the
explain.
bracelet? If he didn't have the bracelet, would he have a power?
Who
I don't know.
who knows, man?
But all right.
Or maybe the Arcana is unlocked by something that is like in your soul or like important to you.
Yeah, and maybe
or,
whatever
like,
you're connected with at the time, it
like-
enhances that.
Yeah, like maybe it just connects with parts of you at that time. I don't know.
I can buy that.
I don't
I could
know.
buy that.
It's the only explanation that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so all right, so now Cole's coming back. Raiden's like, "All right, boy, you did it. You got it up. Come on back." So he comes back.
Beat Kano
We get-
in a parking lot.
We get another badass
Or
fatality
Goro.
of Kun Lao cutting up Natara's face. Even though she
I
looked
know.
she looked really bad, and like she was only in the movie for like a minute. That death was amazing.
It was a great fatality. It was the best fatality that we've gotten live action.
Fantastic, dude.
It was straight
From
from
the
Mortal
game.
Kombat
Oh
X.
my God.
It was just so good, and it was so perfect.
Dude ripped her apart straight in
but
half.
my girl Natara, they did her dirty, man. I was so excited when I found out that Natara was going to be in this. She was one of my favorite characters from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I always played as her, and I always did the extra costume where she's like all black metal. She's got like corpse paint on, and she's wearing big like demon boots. Like she was my jam.
Hell yeah.
I was always Natara. So yeah, but I mean, they killed
Yeah.
her good though. So
Well,
I
and Shang
wasn't
Tsung
too
gets
mad
his
about it.
revenge on Kung Lao for that. He sucks his soul right out of him. So we got Cabal.
Cabal.
For Cabal, we forgot to talk about how that the wall gets broken down by Cabal telling Shang Tsung about Kano. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna love him. He's a real piece of shit. He's the guy that put me in this
Yeah,
iron
he's got
lung.
this heavy New York
I love
accent.
the
like,
Brooklyn accent. He's like, hey, he put me in this iron fucking lung. You should go to him. He's a real piece of shit. He'll totally
I
betray
hate
him.
him.
I hate him, but I love him. You're gonna love him." Yeah. So Kano betrays
oh
them.
God.
Oh my God, none of us saw that coming.
Yeah. Oh no, Kano.
Yeah, so then
Becoming a jerk
it
in the end.
ensues. That's when all this fighting ensues. This is when Kun Lao, unfortunately, gets his soul ripped from his bones.
He does. Rest in peace. Kung
Liu
Lao.
is crying. He's really upset. You know, it really tore him up inside.
Yeah, the most acting you've gotten from him. The
So
whole movie.
yeah, so we get away from them. Raiden brings them to his little pocket dimension, and everybody's kind of like, "What do we do now? We're defeated.
What are
oh
we gonna
no!"
do?
And
Woo.
like the emo guy Cole is the one who's like, now like, "No, we're gonna go beat their asses." Like, dude, you could teleport people at anywhere, at any time, Raiden. Like, what the hell? Why didn't you tell us this before, man? We could totally just take them out one at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. So they do that, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that's a great concept. Why didn't any of us think of that? Holy crap!" So, like, wait, like a tournament? Wait, like how? Like, whoa, one-on-ones? Like, oh my god!
Like Mortal Kombat.
So yeah, so it happens. So Sonya takes Jax. I mean, Sonya takes Kano. Jax takes the big dude who is in Morton Joe's son from Mad Max. I forget his character in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he takes him, and then Cole is gonna take Melina. So we get the badass moment with Kano fighting Sonya in her trailer, whooping his ass, kills him with the freaking gnome, right in the eye. So great. Now she's got the mark. Now she's part of the tribe. Now her death will mean something. I liked Cabal versus Liu. That was really cool. Liu Kang using the fire dragon to defeat him. That was really cool. Quick fight, but cool. Cole having a hard time fighting Melina was kind of interesting, but Sonya coming in, everybody had to fight for their Harkana. Hers, she just had like that, comes in, bow, shoots the hole in her chest, blows her out.
Yeah. Hers was a little rushed.
Yeah.
It was a little rushed.
But you know what, though? It kind of makes sense for her type A personality. That like she's watched these motherfuckers train to get it the whole time. That you know what? Nah,
she's
dude.
Very
she's been
headstrong.
fighting for it. She's wanted this. Like she's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. So now we get to the final fight. Scorpion's playing dirty. He figured out that Cole might be. Sub-Zero's playing dirty. Figured out that Cole might be Scorpion's descendant, and he takes his wife and kid. Yeah. And we're at the coolest set piece, I think, in the whole movie now. It's the
one of the
MMA
coolest set
ring.
pieces ever.
The MMA ring covered in ice. The wife and the daughter are frozen in ice in all this cool, really practical effects. And even the actors were covered in ice. And they were talking about it. They're like, dude, they did not want to be there for that long. And it was so cool, dude. And they had it was like that fake glass.
Yeah, like that sugar glass stuff. But it's cool because they did it that way so that when the actors did certain things in the ring, the environment around them reacted to it.
Yes.
So if they hit something, it would shatter, it would break. So it wasn't just, like CGI painted on.
Yeah, no, it was
so
like
it
actual
could actually
impact.
Interact with the environment.
The actors felt like they were in this world. And yet again, Mortal Kombat doing some awesome world building. And this is where we do get the theme song played in a different style. And stuff.
Yeah.
So Cole comes in and he's fighting him. He's not doing good, but he has Scorpion's kunai that we forgot. Raiden gives it to him when he's like, all right, you found your Harkana. This is from your ancestor. You are the one that can win this. Maybe it'll help you. And his blood gets on it. Boom. Our man Scorpion comes back from the dead, straight from hell, covered in his samurai gear with his katana and all, and he's ready for revenge. He said, I told you you'd see me again. Get over here.
So good.
Yo, this fight was off the chain, dude.
Yeah.
All the moves with the katana, with the swords, dude, the ice swords. Dude, him pulling the blood out of him and then turning it into a dagger and stabbing him with
that
it.
was so metal.
Yo, incredible,
So
dude.
good.
Incredible fight scene here, dude.
Yeah.
Two
This is
awesome
definitely, like,
fighters,
the
seeing them
climax.
go for it, dude, was awesome.
And it wasn't all CGI. It was the third act
it was
main
all real.
fight. It was not CGI.
Oh my god,
How about
dude,
that?
that's crazy. Didn't even
How
think about
about
it.
that?
Yeah, they broke the curse.
They broke the
They
curse.
broke the curse. So we get to that. Scorpion helps Cole release his family by unleashing hell's fire to melt the ice. So from doing that, now Cole's like, we need to do this together. Like, we're family. We got to do this together. So they start taking him out, dude, and they whoop Sub-Zero's ass. They whoop his ass. They start beating off his armor, so he starts looking more and more like Noob Saibot in like this black outfit. He's like,
Yeah, they
just
were
all
definitely
dazed and
teasing
stuff.
it for sure.
Oh yeah, and then dude, that awesome fatality from Scorpion pulling off the part of the mask. I wish they would have went full on skull.
I know. I wanted full skull.
Yeah, but I guess I
But
understand it.
The mouth just turning to a skull while he's breathing the
And
fire.
I love. He was like, "You sent me to hell's fire, and I learned to harness them."
so cool.
Dude takes him out. So sick. Awesome way to end your final fight. Then Shang Tsung, Raiden's like, you're defeated. Shang Tsung tells them death is only the beginning. So who knows? Sets up for a sequel.
Yeah.
Now all Earth's fighters are happy and joyous. Everybody's a team now. Let's get out of here.
For now.
Let's go home. Cole Young's packing up all his stuff from the gym. The fighter's like, oh, hey, you want to make $10? Get in another fight for me, guy. He's like, nah, man, I'm off to save the world. I gotta go talk to a guy about a guy. And then you just see the poster on the wall that just says, Johnny Cage,
Yep.
get caged.
Yep.
Teasing you for the second movie. I think was a great ending and a nice way to set up a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some things you didn't like. Yeah, you know, some choices, but
Look,
all in
nothing
all,
is gonna be
dude,
perfect.
I think for a lot of these reboots that we're getting nowadays, you know, especially from stuff that we love, like, you know, it is probably one of the better done ones because it was done with love, with people that actually loved it,
100%.
and done with real professionals, like real fighters.
Yep.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I loved it, and yeah, like you said, I mean, there was definitely some moments where I was like, okay, and really, that was just the Goro fight for me.
Yeah,
Just because the Goro fight scene in the first one was so iconic that, you know, I felt like, you know, maybe they were trying to downplay it so that they weren't trying to outdo the first one.
maybe I think they
don't
just
know.
couldn't really afford it, and they just kind
Maybe
of did
that
the best
too.
with what they got.
But yeah, I mean, that was really the only like real thing that like bothered me. And just the, you know, the fact I've talked to you about this before, how so far for me, not one live action anything of Mortal Kombat has cast Sonya to my satisfaction. I'm sorry. If younger Linda Carter could
Oh wow,
what is that her name? Linda Carter, who was
Wonder Woman.
Sarah Connor. No, Sarah Connor. Oh my God, what's her
Lena
name?
Headey?
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
I'm like saying Linda Carter. If young Linda Hamilton could have been Sonya,
That actually would
like
have
if
been
we
pretty
had
badass.
if we
You
had a
Sarah
time
Connor
travel,
as Sonya, I
I would be so happy with that. She'd be like the top Sonya for me. But other than that, I loved it. It was a great movie, and it was really, really geared towards the fans and people who have grown up with the franchise, because that gave a little bit of everything, which was cool.
Absolutely,
It gave a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. That brings us to the end of our episode here. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Cinema Punx. We really had a great time, man, and we're always here to have a good time because we can't afford to ask. We know we're having one. So this is the first of many more to come. Big shout out to our patrons, okay? Names on the screen. If you like access to episodes early, if you want some behind the scenes, some bloopers, if you want a little bit of access into what movies we're going to do, into polls, join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/OutworldSounds. You can find us there. You can find us live on Twitch doing music, Twitch TV/OutworldSounds. You can check there for our schedule of when we are live. Go follow us on Twitter. Please hit that subscribe button, smash that bell, hit that like, leave us a comment. Hey, if you didn't like us, if you were bored to death, if we annoyed you, let us know. I don't care. Just let me know. Hey, let's have a conversation.